greatness is not a function of circumstance. Greatness, it turns out, is largely a matter of conscious choice and discipline. The purpose of bureaucracy is to compensate for incompetence and lack of discipline. When what you are deeply passionate about, what you can be best in the world at, and what drives your economic engine, come together, not only does your work move toward greatness, but so does your life. For, in the end, it is impossible to have a great life unless it is a meaningful life. And it is very difficult to have a meaningful life without meaningful work. Perhaps, then, you might gain that rare tranquility that comes from knowing that you've had a hand in creating something of intrinsic excellence that makes a contribution. Indeed, you might even gain that deepest of all satisfactions, knowing that your short time here on this earth has been well spent, and that it mattered. Great vision without great people is irrelevant. A company should limit its growth based on its ability to attract enough of the right people. Good is the enemy of great. And that is one of the key reasons why we have so little that becomes great. We don't have great schools, principally because we have good schools. We don't have great government, principally because we have good government. Few people attain great lives, in large part because it is just so easy to settle for a good life. Letting the wrong people hang around is unfair to all the right people, as they inevitably find themselves compensating for the inadequacies of the wrong people. Worse, it can drive away the best people. Strong performers are intrinsically motivated by performance, and when they see their efforts impeded by carrying extra weight, they eventually become frustrated. By definition, it is not possible to everyone to be above the average. For, in the end, it is impossible to have a great life unless it is a meaningful life. And it is very difficult to have a meaningful life without meaningful work. The good to great leaders never wanted to become larger-than-life heroes. They never aspired to be put on a pedestal or become unreachable icons. They were seemingly ordinary people quietly producing extraordinary results. The moment you feel the need to tightly manage someone, you've made a hiring mistake. Faith in the endgame helps you live through the months or years of buildup. You can accomplish anything in life, provided that you do not mind who gets the credit. What separates people, Stockdale taught me, is not the presence or absence of difficulty, but how they deal with the inevitable difficulties of life. Mediocrity results first and foremost from management failure, not technological failure. Indeed, the real question is not, why greatness, but what work makes you feel compelled to try to create greatness? If you have to ask the question, why should we try to make it great? Isn't success enough? Then you're probably engaged in the wrong line of work. Freedom is only part of the story and half the truth. That is why I recommend that the Statue of Liberty on the East Coast be supplanted by a Statue of Responsibility on the West Coast. Viktor E. Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. First who? Then what? We expected that good to great leaders would begin by setting a new vision and strategy. We found instead that they first got the right people on the bus, the wrong people off the bus, and the right people in the right seats, and then they figured out where to drive it. The old adage, people are your most important asset, turns out to be wrong. People are not your most important asset. The right people are. The moment a leader allows himself to become the primary reality people worry about, rather than reality being the primary reality, you have a recipe for mediocrity, or worse. This is one of the key reasons why less charismatic leaders often produce better long-term results than their more charismatic counterparts. Indeed, while you can buy your way to growth, you absolutely cannot buy your way to greatness. Thoughtless reliance on technology is a liability. Perhaps your quest to be part of building something great will not fall in your business life. But find it somewhere. If not in corporate life, then perhaps in making your church great. If not there, then perhaps a non-profit, or a community organization, or a class you teach. Get involved in something that you care so much about that you want the greatest it can possibly be, not because of what you will get, but just because it can be done. Those who build great companies understand that the ultimate throttle on growth for any great company is not markets, or technology, or competition, or products. It is one thing above all others: the ability to get and keep enough of the right people. The management team. You absolutely cannot make a series of good decisions without first confronting the brutal facts. The good to great companies operated. Think of the transformation as a process of build-up followed by breakthrough, broken into three broad stages: disciplined people, disciplined thought, and disciplined action. Within each of these three stages, there are two key concepts, shown in the framework and described below. Wrapping around this entire framework is a concept we came to call the flywheel, which captures the gestalt of the entire process of going from good to great. They didn't use discussion as a sham process to let people have their say so that they could buy in to a predetermined decision. The process was more like a heated scientific debate, with people engaged in a search for the best answers. You can accomplish anything in life, provided that you do not mind who gets the credit. The good to great companies made a habit of putting their best people on their best opportunities, not their biggest problems. The comparison companies had a penchant for doing just the opposite, failing to grasp the fact that whereas building your opportunities is the only way to become great. There is an important